So, what process mapping is very simply creating and identifying the steps and the type of steps that are happening, who's involved with it, where that data comes from, whether or not it's repetitive, what is the trigger, meaning what starts it, and then what do you do depending on what it is. All of that can be communicated visually. And we are not all primarily visual, but many of us learn better visually. So process mapping is really critical for complex automations to make sure everybody understands it. But even for simple automations, it can be helpful because of some of the points that Michelle was making earlier around change management. You have to be able to identify who is impacted and in what way in order to make sure that they buy into what you're doing with the automation. To have that conversation, we don't typically process a list of 20 different actions and go, oh yeah, that's the right process. That's what we're going to change. And we're going to change those 20 steps into 10 steps. You need to see it. So process mapping is this tool that you use both to bring everyone in, but also to check your own logic, which goes back to Danish's point around what skill are you really using here? You're not using coding, you're using logic. And I would say the second most important skill is communication. It's actually communicating to all the people that are impacted by this and making sure that, for example, you know where there needs to be a human in the loop. You know where the most important parts of the system are. And a visual tool like a process map it's the conversation blueprint for those conversations.
This is a big thing for me is that before you start any of this, you need to define your problem statement. That you can't just jump into AI and try and fix something. You need to, or else you're looking for it's a solution in search of a problem. So you need to really define your problem statement and then you need to sit there and say, is this the right solution to even take? You don't want to use a tool just because the tool is cool. Right? "Oh, AI is fun. Let's use it to solve this problem." Well, sometimes the problem might just be solved by removing a step from what you're doing. You really need to almost do a quick little gap analysis on what you're doing and decide, is AI even the right solution? Because it may not.